Mow Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mow Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the model high school Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
we're going to take care of you.
If you ever hear these sounds or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors have a tough, heavy-duty steel frame, so they can lift fallen trees and everything else thrown our way. And you're tough, too. You maintain roads and mend fences and give your neighbors a hand and still make it to church on Sunday. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, from concerts to business events, we're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable. Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience. High school basketball coverage begins now. This broadcast is produced by Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ Radio. Coverage is also provided on the Southeast Sports Network. You're watching high school basketball
we are
action.
Live at Model High School. I'm Matt Davis, bringing you live play-by-play action of Model basketball tonight, and it's going to be a couple of region matchups for you. I will give you an update on the JV boys game that just took place right before this one is to tip off here in about 15 minutes. But the JV boys from Model were victorious tonight, picking up a 50-39 victory, 11-point win over Haralson County. So the night started off with a celebration for the folks in blue already, and Model blue, I should say. Also, Haralson County has some blue involved, more of the Navy variety in their blue, but more on that in just a little bit later. But we are glad you're with us tonight. It's going to be Model Lady Devils and Haralson County Lady Rebels up first, and we're going to dive into the matchups in just a couple of moments. But I do want to take an opportunity right out of the gate to thank the sponsors for making it possible for us to be here tonight to bring you this live coverage, whether you're watching on the video or listening on the radio. We'll start with the video sponsors tonight. Instant replay is going to be brought to you by Smith and Wood Wealth Management throughout your broadcast tonight. Also making it possible for video coverage, you've got Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales, Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialist, also Abbott Health Redmond on board this season, Shannon Pharmacy, Dogwood Books, The Herb Shop on Broad, and Duffy's Deli. Now, for the radio side of things, we've got Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales with us tonight, and we appreciate them sponsoring Model basketball for a long time on the radio and also on the video coverage. Now, the crew tonight, midcourt cameras will be Bennett Abernathy and Caleb Bice. Pan, tilt, and zoom, PTZ for short, and scoreboard will be Levi Miller pulling some double duty tonight. Replay is Nathan Patterson, and director is Mike Garrett. And again, I'm Matt Davis with play-by-play courtesy of WLAQ. And back at the studio running the board tonight is Lynn Butler. So we appreciate everybody involved in the broadcast. But again, we're getting ready for some basketball. We'll go ahead and take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we're going to start to unpack and talk about this matchup between the Model Lady Devils and the Haralson County Lady Rebels. When we come back after a 3-minute break.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
You look exhausted.
Dude, my to-do list got the best of me. I finally sharpened the blade, trimmed the yard, raked the leaves, and then I mowed.
Yeah, me too.
Get out. You're not even breaking a sweat.
I know. My grasshopper trimmed around the yard, power vacked the leaves, and then mowed. I did all of it without leaving my seat.
I gotta get a grasshopper.
Finish fall cleanup and be ready for winter with a grasshopper mower.
Here we go again.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Hold up. Hold up.
Back inside the warm, friendly confines of Woodard Gymnasium on the campus of Model High School. It is almost time for some Model basketball for you tonight, whether you're watching on the Northwest Georgia Media produced live stream or listening on the radio tonight, and however you've joined us. We're glad to have you with us because we're glad to be here and ready for some more round ball. And of course, we've had obviously some very cold temperatures over the last couple of days, and I can't think of anything I like to do more in cold weather than sit in a gymnasium with a bunch of people and watch some good basketball. So that's exactly what we're going to have the opportunity to do here tonight. And again, it's the Model Lady Devils and the Haralson County Lady Rebels. Let's talk a little bit about the matchup here tonight. The Model Lady Devils come into the game 12-7 overall, 6-2 in region play, which is Region 6 Class A Division I, averaging about 47 points a game, allowing just 42. They lost their last game, kind of an interesting week last week, as the Model Lady Devils picked up a victory at home early in the week on Tuesday over at the time ranked #1 team in Bremen, a team that had not lost a game in region play. Picked up the victory there, went on the road on the weekend and lost a close one down at Heard County. So the top few teams here in this region this year in terms of girls basketball, playing some outstanding basketball, quite a battle between those few teams, no question about it. So kind of a mixed bag last week in terms of the results, although competitive throughout the week. And the Model Lady Devils, again, their last game was a loss on the road at Heard County. 57-53 was the final score in that one. The Model Lady Devils had won their 3 previous games before that particular matchup. Meanwhile, Harrison County Lady Rebels, they come into the game and have had a tough season. They are 4-15 overall, 1-6 in Region 6 Class A Division I play, averaging close to 31 points a game. They're allowing 47 points a game. But one of the things that's really interesting when you look at the course of their season and how this team has progressed throughout the year, when you look at the first 13 games for the Haralson County Lady Rebels, they would go 1-12 during that stretch. So out of 13 games, only picked up that 1 win. However, in the last 6 games, Haralson County, well, they've gone 500. They're 3-3 out of their last 6. So that tells us a couple things about this Haralson County team. Number one, they have a lot of resolve, been very resilient throughout the course of the season. And number two, they've been getting better each week of the season. So they've kept plugging, and the results are starting to show for this team. So I think we're going to see a bit different of a look here from this Haralson County team than maybe we've seen earlier in the season, and more on that coming up in a little bit. Of course, the same thing that could be said for Haralson County in terms of improvement. You could also say for the Model Lady Devils, even though they've won some games throughout the year, starting at the beginning of the year, they dealt with the injury bug early in the year. Of course, right now I'm looking down watching the Model Lady Devils warm up, and obviously Savannah Minshew still not available, out for the year, and then also Javia Samples that they lost right before the season in a scrimmage game. And so the injury bugs bit pretty early in the season, and this team's been able to adapt and overcome and be resilient and show that resolve themselves, and have gotten better every week. So both of these teams, I think, playing better basketball at this point of the season than they were at the beginning of the year when these two teams would meet in their first meeting this year, and that was back on December the 12th when Model got the best of Haralson County 46-28. So what does that translate to tonight? I don't know, but we're going to find out in about 6 minutes. But this is your pregame show. We got some model hoops coming up for you in just a little bit. A little bit later on in our pregame, we'll preview the rest of the season, because believe it or not, we're getting ready to enter the month of February, which means the season's going to be winding down as far as the regular season. In the month of February, you also have the region tournament take place and also state playoffs. So a lot coming up in the month of February, as believe it or not, the regular season is starting to approach the end. Well, more on that coming up in just a little bit, but let's step out for 3 minutes. We'll come back for more on the pregame, including a little bit of discussion of the rest of the season. We still got time to get you the starting lineups. We'll have the national anthem and more. This is Model Basketball, back in 3 minutes.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
we continue our pregame show as we get about 2 minutes away from the tip-off of our first game of the night. It's going to be Model Lady Devils and the Haralson County Lady Rebels coming up in just a little bit. And as I mentioned to you just before we took the break, we'll spend the last couple of minutes here of our pregame talking about what is on the slate for the rest of the season, because believe it or not, you blink your eyes, folks, and the high school basketball regular season is starting to wind down over the next couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, if you're not here tonight, then you're only going to have 2 more opportunities past tonight to get to see your Model Lady Devils and Model Blue Devils playing at home inside Woodard Gymnasium. They'll go on the road for a couple of games. And so basically after tonight is concluded, we're going to be down to 4 nights of the regular season, and it'll be time to shift gears and get ready for tournament play, with the region tournament up first, and then also the postseason as far as the state tournament is concerned. So again, not a lot of basketball left to go in the regular season, but of course you've got the games against Haralson County coming up in just a couple of minutes, starting with girls varsity. Then on Thursday it'll be a quick reset, and then welcome a couple of teams from Almerchi over to this part of town, as the Model Lady Devils will take on the Almerchi Lady Indians at 6 o'clock on Thursday, and then the boys will begin at 7:30, and we'll have the broadcast of the live stream and radio coming up for those games coming up on Thursday. So going to be a lot of hoops coming up this week. And then after that, you'll have road games at Pepperell on the 30th, on the 6th of February at Temple, and then things will wrap up on a Tuesday evening against Darlington coming up at 6 and 7:30 on February the 10th. So that's all that's left of the regular season. So the moral of the story is, folks, you need to get out here and watch as many of these games as you can, because it'll get past you before you know it. Well, folks, it is almost time for your national anthem. Then we'll give you the starting lineups and we'll get things rolling inside Woodard Gymnasium. Again, we welcome you into the broadcast here, provided by Northwest Georgia Media and audio by WLAQ Radio here in Rome, 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, online at WLAQ1410.com. All right. Well, we also, as we mentioned earlier, are going to have a boys game coming up after this one. It's going to be the Model Blue Devils and the Haralson County Rebels. The Model Blue Devils are 15-2 on the season. Meanwhile, Haralson County, they have had a pretty good year this year at 12-8. So more on that matchup later. But here's your national anthem. As we say at this time, there's only one thing left to do, and then they'll be playing some basketball here tonight inside Woodard Gymnasium, and that is to give you the starting lineups and then get things rolling inside Woodard Gymnasium. Let's start with the visiting Haralson County Lady Rebels. Number 2, Anna Lane Coy, is in the starting lineup tonight, and you're also going to have number 22, Leah Johnson. She is a junior. Number 24, Riley Williams. Number 30, Alyssa Hyatt, and rounding out the starting 5 for Haralson County is going to be number 40, Hope Davis, a junior in the starting lineup. So that's your starting 5 for Haralson County. Their head coach is Andy Shaw. Meanwhile, for the Lady Devils playing at home tonight, we'll give you the Lady Devils lineup, and then we'll get things rolling. We're going to start with number 1, Cam Sanders, just a sophomore this year. Number 3, Addie Mathis, playing in her senior year in the starting lineup tonight. Number 15, Sasha Wood, also a senior. Number 21, Samantha Betts, a sophomore in the starting lineup tonight. And rounding out the starting five for your Lady Devils is going to be number 25, Jada Wells, a senior. And, of course, head coach of the Model Lady Devils is Sally Eccles. Model Lady Devils come into the game 12-7, 6-2 in region play. Right now in second place behind Bremen, the number one team in the region, a team that they actually beat last week, but then lost on the road at Heard County over the weekend. And now Bremen, only with the one loss in region play, right now sits at the top of the standings in Region 6 Class A Division I. But as we mentioned earlier, several more region games left to go before things are decided in terms of the order and the seeding for the region tournament, which will be coming up in a few weeks. Well, it's go time. You got Cam Sanders in the circle for the Model Lady Devils, and for the Lady Rebels, it's going to be Anna Lane Coy. And we are just about ready to roll as the head official goes into the circle and gets ready to send the ball into the air, and it's time for the ball game. Tip is going to go right over to the Model Lady Devils, and they're going to open up with possession of the basketball. Going to send it to the near side, getting it to Samantha Betts. Directing traffic, feeds it to the left wing side over to Cam Sanders, puts up the long two, misses the shot. And a one-and-done trip there for the Lady Devils as Hope Davis comes down with the rebound here for the Lady Rebs, and they will come back across the timeline. Anna Lane Coy handling the basketball. Everything runs through her on the offensive side of the floor. Back during the latter parts of December, she eclipsed 1,000 points for her career, so no question she is the best player on this basketball team. And they're going to lean on her for sure. She goes right to the rim, puts up the shot. That goes off the side of the rim, and immediately a jump ball is going to be forced. Possession arrow is pointing in Haralson County's direction, so the ball is going to stay on this end. So we're about 45 seconds into the game. Nobody has put points on the board just yet. Coy going to send it in motion here, trying to find the open player. Man, almost took too much time. Gets it out to the right wing side. Haralson County inbounds the ball just in the nick of time. They've got it over deep into the corner on the right wing. Now trying to dribble up top. Going to pass it to her teammate. Coy's got it at the top of the key, being guarded right now by Minshew. Backs up between the circles, sets up the offense. They send it to the elbow. Now back outside to Coy, who's going to try to drive in. And that is going to be a turnover on Haralson County. So it's coming back to Model as they will have their second possession of this basketball game about 1 minute and 5 seconds in. Inbound pass from Sasha Wood goes to Betts. She'll bring it across the midcourt stripe. Dribbles, sends it to the right wing side to Mathis. Now deep into the corner, they get it to Wells. Back up top between the circles to Wood. Mathis with the ball, sends it left wing side to Betts. Back up top. There's Wood, wants the three, and that one's going to rattle off the rim. Rebound, though, goes to Sanders. She backs her way in, kicks out. Two passes over to Mathis underneath, trying to get it to a cutting Wells. And the passing lane is shut down, and Haralson County picks the ball off. Here they come back the other way. Anna Lane Coy dribbles across the timeline, sends it right wing side. Had a look at a three if she wanted it, elected not to shoot. Now they send it to the top of the key, and whistle and a foul is going to go against the Model Lady Devils. It looks like that time they're going to get Wells, and we'll see Haralson County inbound the ball. So almost 2 minutes into this contest, and nobody's put any points on the board just yet. But that is about to change. Coy surveys the floor, ready to send it in. Bounce pass is deflected out of bounds. Great effort there. And getting around from applause over on the Model bench is Jada Wells as she deflected that ball. Haralson County surveying the floor, trying to find the open player. They're going to go up towards the top of the key. They're going to get it into Williams. Ball is going to be batted down. Deflected pass picked off. Sanders has got it. Drives in. Shakes off the defender. And with a great move, scores. Nice fake to the inside. Goes to that left hand and puts it through. And that is the first bucket of the game. Models up 2-0. Going to try to bounce it underneath. Ball goes out of bounds. And it's going to stay with Haralson County. So 5:49 left to go here in this first quarter. And Model strikes first blood up 2-0. Coy surveys the floor, going to bounce it in, gets a good look underneath, misses the shot. Second look's going to be blocked. Cam Sanders gets the block and the steal. Now down to Addie Mathis on the outlet pass, misses the layup. Rebound's going to be picked up by Coy, and the Lady Rebels come back the other way with it. Now they're going to try to fire it down low Ball is going to be stripped away. Sasha Wood now to Addie Mathis underneath, one-on-one, and scores. So Addie picks up the second bucket of the game here for Model, and it's 4-0 with 5:20 left to go in the first quarter. Haralson County dribbles across the center court stripe. Now they're going to pass it back between the circles over to Coy. Senior now dribbles off to her left side, trying to work around Sasha Wood. Now they're going to fire it to the near side. Bounce pass underneath. Good ball movement and scoops and scores. That was Riley Williams picking up the first bucket of the game there for Haralson County. Great teamwork there. 4:52 left to go in the first quarter. So pass goes to the right wing side. Now back up top to a cutting Addie Mathis, and the pass from Sanders. Missed the shot but drew the contacts. We're going to see Mathis going to the free throw line here with a couple of free throws forthcoming. 4:41 left to go first quarter. Model 4, Haralson County 2. And right now we see first free throw attempt coming up for Mathis after she goes through her routine is going to be a miss. Some instructions coming in from Coach Eccles over near the bench to Sasha Wood and Samantha Betts. Now they'll work their way back up to the front court. Mathis one more free throw on the way. That one rattles off the rim. Rebound taken by Wells. Misses the shot. Too strong off the glass. And the rebound goes to Coy, bringing it up the floor for Haralson County. Now they're going to send it to the right wing side. Haralson County with the ball on their end of the floor, going to try to bounce it baseline. Gets away from them, goes out of bounds. And now it's coming back to Model with a 4-2 lead with 4:26 left to go in the first quarter. We're going to have some college hoops for you coming up on the airwaves of WLAQ on Saturday as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets welcome the North Carolina Tar Heels. And the last time that the Jackets hosted the Tar Heels, they picked up a super exciting, unexpected victory in the game. And I was there to see it and did not expect, as I mentioned, it was unexpected. But hoping that they can repeat that coming up this weekend. But don't get me wrong, I'm not counting on it. But my wife is a big North Carolina Tar Heel fan, so obviously she hopes that is not the case. So we've got a little divided household on that one. We're going to be at the game to take it in together. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Ball nearly stolen away. Here's Sasha Wood. Now to Sanders, trying to get it to Pointer underneath. The pass is going to be picked off. Good hands there by Charlie West. And now Haralson County comes back the other way, trailing 4-2 to your Model Lady Devils. Coy with it between the circles, being guarded by Betts. Tries to work around a high screen. Now goes to the right wing side. Now dribbling back up top. They want to go to the left wing side over to Welch. Welch backs up between the circles, being guarded right now by Georgia Womack, who's in off the bench. Better give you a floor check here on the Blue Devils coming up in just a few moments because we've had some changes with who's on the floor. Another jump ball. This time the arrow's pointing in Model's direction. So this will give us a chance to tell you who's out there for the Model Lady Devils. Cam Sanders. They're also going, well, they're probably going to make a change here. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But we've got a timeout on the floor, so we're going to take it as well. 3:23 left to go first quarter. Model up 4-2. We're back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
we're going to take care of you.
If you ever hear these sounds or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Model will inbound the ball out of the break. Samantha Betts across the timeline, wants to send it left wing side, gets it over to Georgia Womack. Now on to the top of the key. They get it to Sasha Wood. There is Betts with it on the right wing. Now over to Womack. Thought for a second about the three-point look. Here is Sanders, puts it up. That one's a little bit off the mark, rattles off the rim. Betts collects the rebound though. And now Georgia Womack going to try to lob it underneath, getting it to Pointer at the baseline. Dribbles back out around the perimeter on the left side. Now back up top, fires it right wing side. There's Betts for three and drills the tray. Samantha Betts with a good looking shot there. Lifts Model to a 7-2 lead here with 2:40 left to go in the first quarter. That was nothing but net on the three-point attempt and make there by Samantha Betts. And a timeout is going to be called by Coach Shaw of Haralson County as they were having a hard time getting the ball across the court. We're going to keep it here through this one, but we've got 2:33 left to go here in the first quarter of the ball game between Model and Haralson County. Model right now has a 7-2 lead. Only 2 points of this first quarter have come from Riley Williams, one of the original starters here for Haralson County, but otherwise they've been pretty quiet offensively. Have had a hard time against this Model Ladies defense getting some open looks, and one of the things that they've tried to do is try to get the ball inside, but I think that's going to be extremely difficult against this Model Lady team, a Model Lady Devils team. Coy going to bring it up the floor. She is across the midcourt stripe. Now dribbles between the circles, tries to work around a high screen, sends it right wing side. Now they're going to dribble baseline, and the ball is going to be poked out of bounds. Last touch by Model. And so we'll see Haralson County inbound the ball after a couple of substitutions here in just a couple of moments. It looked like Hope Davis is checking back into the game, as well as Alyssa Hyatt, a couple of the original starters here for Haralson County. Haralson County set to inbound the basketball. Coy going to send it sharply to the right wing side. Now they're going to dribble towards the baseline on that right side. Dribbling with the basketball is Welch. And still searching to try to find an open player, and they are covered up. Ball is nearly stolen away there by Eva Pointer, but that was a shot clock violation regardless against Haralson County, so it's a turnover any way you slice it. And we get ready for Model to inbound the basketball here, leading at 7-2. Almost down to the 2-minute mark here of the opening quarter. Across the timeline goes Betts, sends it right wing side to Sasha Wood, now onto Pointer. Now up top to Womack, pulls the trigger on the three. That one's high off the back of the rim. Rebound picked up by Sanders, gets it to the rim, misses the shot, but she earns a trip to the stripe. It'll be her first trip to the stripe here of the basketball game, with Model leading at 7-2 with just under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter of the ball game. So a couple of free throws, first one on the way, and that one is going to carry them across the rim, and we get ready for Cam Sanders to shoot another one. Official will have to collect the ball real quick, and we'll get ready for her to go through her free throw shooting routine. Get ready for her second of the pair. Second shot on the way. That was going to rattle through there for Sanders. And now Haralson County will inbound the ball and try to work around some pressure being applied right now by the Lady Devils on defense. They get it across the timeline. Dribbling with it is Leah Johnson. Now they're going to go down towards the low block. Ball is stripped. Sasha Woods got it. It's going to fire it underneath to Pointer. Drives in a little bit too strong. However, Pointer is going to go to the free throw line with an opportunity to get some shots here for the Lady Devils. So 1:36 left to go. Model leads it by a score of 8-2. And we've got 1:36 left to go in the first quarter here tonight. First shot on the way. That one, I think it might have caught just a little bit of rim on the right side. And Eva will get ready and reset here for this next free throw. Goes through her routine. Puts up the second shot, and that one is off the side of the rim as well. Ball is going to be poked out of bounds. It was last touched by Model. So we get ready for Haralson County to inbound the ball in just a couple of moments. So Haralson County will inbound the ball. They feed it inside, stolen away by Pointer, passes down low to Diamond, now underneath to Betts. That goes off the bottom of the backboard, but collecting it was Pointer. Penn's got it, feeds it out to the right wing side. Now they've got it to Womack, puts up the three. That one is going to be a miss. And the rebound's going to be picked up by Coy. Haralson County brings it across the midcourt stripe. Now backs out around the perimeter. Coy dribbling and handling the basketball. Now goes between the circles. They'll set up their half-court set. She'll send some players in motion. And now Coy's going to work towards the inside, leaves it off for a teammate. They'll attempt the three-point shot. That is going to be a miss. Rebound's picked up by Pointer. And now Betts is going to bring it across the timeline for Model. Dribbles right, fires it across, gets it to Womack, backs up, thought about the three, had second thoughts, now feeds it out to Diamond. Diamond at the top of the key, now on to Betts. Betts fires it down low to Pointer, puts it up. That's off the side of the rim, gets a follow-up shot, misses that. Rebound's going to be picked up by Betts, gives it on to Georgia Womack, fires it inside with a nice crisp pass over to Penn, and she travels. This will be a turnover coming back to the Rebels. So Haralson County getting the ball back, trailing 8-2 to the Model Lady Devils with 31.6 seconds left to go in the opening frame. So Coy is set to trigger it in motion here for Haralson County. And will do so. Going to be some pressure here from the Lady Devils. Ball is stolen away. Womack's got it, drives in, passes it to Betts, shakes off the defender, puts up the shot, and scores. So Betts picks up her second field goal of the basketball game, has 5 points, and Model leads by 8. 10-2 is your score. Stolen away. Here's Pointer. Misses the shot, but she draws the contact. We're going to see her going to the free throw line. Her first 2 free throw attempts were to the right a bit. Last one went off the side of the rim, but the second one was closer than the first one, so I got a feeling this one's going through. First shot's on the way, and that one's going to be also off the side of the rim. We'll get ready for one more as Emily Gentry is going to check into the game here for Model. Checking out is Samantha Betts. So right now on the floor you've got Penn, Diamond, Pointer at the free throw line, Womack, and also Gentry. Second shot on the way. That one caroms off the rim, and the rebound is going to be picked up by Riley Williams of Haralson County. Coy's got the ball now across the timeline, wants to drive all the way in towards the baseline, and that is going to be a foul. They're going to call it on the floor against Model, and they got Emily Gentry with that one. And we'll get ready for Coy to inbound the ball with 2.9 seconds left on the clock in the quarter here for Haralson County. So just enough time for them to get the ball inbounds and take a quick shot here before the break. They survey the floor as Coy tries to find the open player, and 1 second left, got to shoot, and they don't get the shot off. So that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Model's going to lead it by a score of 10-2. We're going to step out for 1 minute. We'll come back with more basketball in WLAQ and Northwest Georgia Media. 1 minute.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors have a tough, heavy-duty steel frame, so they can lift fallen trees and everything else thrown our way. And you're tough, too. You maintain roads and mend fences and give your neighbors a hand and still make it to church on Sunday. Now that stuff sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Sasha Wood inbounds the ball, gets it to Betts. Betts going to send it right wing side for Model. Model leading it 10-2 as we enter the second quarter of the ball game. Lob underneath from Sanders to Wells and through the hoop. Great sequence. And the first bucket of this quarter is going to go to Model. They now lead it by 10. Biggest lead of the game, 12-2 is your score. Haralson County with the basketball. One of the trouble spots for Model there in the first quarter of the ball game was free throw shooting. They were 1 of 8 from the line, so obviously that's not something they're going to be too thrilled about, looking to improve upon as they go throughout the course of the game. Haralson County with the ball. Coy going to send it out around the perimeter. Now from the elbow, here's the shot. That one's off the side of the rim, but she does draw contacts. We're going to see Hope Davis go into the free throw line, and these will be the first free throw attempts here of the ball game for Haralson County. So a good opportunity for the Lady Rebels here. Have struggled to get opportunities to score, to get to the free throw line here and have an opportunity to get some points here with the clock stopped against this Model team. That goes off the front of the rim, and Hope will get ready for her second free throw attempt of the ball game. 7:13 left to go here in the first half. Model leads it by 10. Second shot on the way from Davis, and that one's going to rattle through. So the score moves to 12-3 rather, and they send it right wing side. Model does. Here's a shot from close to the perimeter, and that rattles in there for Cam Sanders, a long 2, and she's now got 5 points in the ball game. And Model leads it by a score of 14-3. So 11-point, biggest lead of the game with 6:55 left to go here in the first half. Coy's got it, dribbling between in front of the Model bench, sends it right wing side, open 3, didn't take the shot. Tries to pass it down low. Ball is poked free. Who's going to come out with it? It is going to be Model. Here's Addie Mathis with it underneath after a nice feed from Samantha Betts. And she gets the shot. And Model leads at 16-3, and a timeout's going to be called there by Coach Shaw of Haralson County. Will take it as well. Model up 16-3, 6:37 left to go in the first half. We're back in 30 seconds. Back live inside of Woodard Gymnasium on a cold winter night. And that's an understatement. Of course, when I got up and ready to go this morning, I think it was about, 15 degrees or so when I left the house. At least it felt that way. I guess I didn't necessarily check the official thermostat, whatever that is. But it was cold. Took a little extra time to defrost my windshield. About 15 minutes to be exact. There's a little scoop shot underneath. Coy lets it hang on the rim for a couple of moments. A little drama, but it goes through. That's her first bucket of the game. And Model now leads it by a score of 16-5 as Haralson County trying to close the gap a little bit. Model turns it over, and now Haralson County will inbound the ball and try to work it up the floor. A little bit of confusion on who's going to inbound the ball. Abigail Welch will handle the inbound duties. Stolen away, and picking it off and scoring with Samantha Betts. So that was a quick score there for Model. And now Haralson County still having trouble getting around this press here from the Model Lady Devils. They will work it across the timeline. A little push foul on the sidelines there from Sasha Wood. So she picks up the foul, and we'll get ready for Haralson County to inbound the ball on their side of the floor. Lee Johnson, the junior, set to sit it in motion here for the Rebels. Sends it in the backcourt, gets it to Coy. Senior brings it across the timeline and across the M at mid-floor. Dribbles off to the right wing side, being guarded by Betts. Now back up top. Haralson County with the basketball, going to try to work it towards the low block. Now back out around the perimeter into the hands of Welch. Welch now dribbling with the ball, has 2 defenders on her. Going to pass it down low. Shot is up, too strong off the glass, and Cam Sanders is able to collect the rebound here for Model. She's across the timeline, fires it right wing side. There's Betts for 3. That one's off the side of the rim, off the mark. Betts gets the rebound, tries to get it down low to Jada Wells. The ball kind of sails a little bit and goes out of bounds, and it's coming back to Haralson County. Right now, Samantha Betts leads all scorers in the basketball game with 7 points. And one of the things that we've seen from her tonight is she's been a little less shy to shoot the basketball, and it has paid off. As I mentioned, she's got 7 points, including a 3 made early in the first quarter. Been doing a fantastic job on both sides of the floor, offense and defense. Here's Haralson County, shot off the glass and through is going to be made. And I'm trying to catch the number. I believe it's number 24, Williams, with her second bucket of the night. Betts across the timeline, fires it right wing side, lob underneath, trying to get it to Wells. Collision down near the low block, and we're going to see Wells drawing the foul there. And Sasha Wood to inbound the ball as that was on the floor. Inbound pass goes to Betts, goes up top, sends it to Sanders, left wing side. There's Mathis for 3 and through. Man, what a shot. Mathis now with 7 points, so 2 players for Model with 7 points, Mathis and Betts. Cross-court pass, trying to bounce it underneath. Ball is going to be poked out of bounds by Sasha Wood, who came out of nowhere from the other side of the floor. And it's going to stay with Haralson County. And they will actually get ready to shoot some free throws here. Cammie Austin is going to be at the free throw line, one of the subs in the game here for Haralson County. With 4:37 left to go in the first half, she will shoot 2 shots with Model leading at 21-7. Knocks down the first free throw. Gets ready for a second one. Going to have a lot of basketball for you on the live stream and also on the radio over the next few days between high school coverage on both and then college on just WLAQ. That was going to rattle in. Wasn't as pretty as the first one, but it went through for Austin. She's 2 of 2 from the line. That cuts it to 21-9. There's Betts out to Sanders. Wide open 3. That one goes off the rim, no good. Put back won't go there for Pointer. And the ball is going to be poked out of bounds there by Haralson County. So it's going to stay with the Model Lady Devils on their end of the floor. Betts set to trigger it in motion here for the Lady Devils. Is going to find Sanders on the right wing. Up top to Mathis, now to Betts. Inside to Sanders, wants to back her way in and poses her will and scores. And now you got 3 players for Model with 7 points. Betts, also Mathis and Sanders. Bounce pass on the baseline, now back up top. Around the baseline, I should say, up top. 3 ball in the air is going to be missed. Rebound's going to be picked up by Wells. She boxes out, gives the ball to Betts. Betts across the timeline, fires it to the near side, gets it to Sanders. Sanders surveys the floor, finds Wells, now out to Betts, who will back up between the circles and set up the half-court offense. Now to the near side, she passes it to Sanders. A little over halfway through our second quarter of the ball game. Passes inside there to Pointer, kick out. There's Betts for 3. What a sequence. Couldn't get the finish though. Here's the putback from Wells, too strong. Ball loose, picked up by Sanders, and she gets fouled. And I think she was on her way up, so we should see free throws here from Sanders in just a couple of moments. 3:28 left to go in the second quarter. Model leads at 23-9. Cam Sanders with 2 free throws coming up. She's 1 of 2. That one goes off the front of the rim. As Alana Penn will check into the game for Model, and checking back into the game here for Haralson County is going to be Hope Davis. 1 more free throw coming up of this pair here for Cam Sanders, who in this ball game has 7 points. Second shot on the way, that bangs hard off the back of the rim. Rebound's going to be picked up by Brenna Brannon for Haralson County. Coy's going to bring it up the floor. Half-court pressure. Coy still trying to get it across the timeline, and looks like it took too much time. So a violation against Haralson County. The press is successful, and we get ready for Model to inbound the ball in just a couple of moments with 3:16 left to go in the first half of play. Cam Sanders to trigger things in motion on offense here for the Lady Devils. Gets it into Samantha Betts. Betts between the circles, sends it to the right wing side, gets it over to Sanders, directing traffic in front of the Haralson County bench. Back up top to Addie Mathis, now on to Betts, who's on the left wing side. Now back up to Sanders at the top of the key. Sanders dribbles right, fires it deep into the corner, gets it to Mathis, underneath to Penn and through. Nice sequence there for the Lady Devils on offense. Picking up the score was Penn. Model leads at 25-9. Haralson County brings it across the timeline. Coy's got the ball, being guarded right now by Samantha Betts. Sends it left wing side. Now they start to work back to the right wing. They're going to get it over to Brannon, who drives in, tries to get the runner in the air, and gets clobbered. So it looks like we're going to see her going to the free throw line after being fouled. And so Brenna Brannon at the charity stripe here with a couple of shots coming up for her. First free throw on the way, and that one is going to go right through. Nothing but net there for Brannon as she gets ready for her second one. With 2:33 left to go, and more substitutions being made right now as Womack and also Diamond check back into the game for Model. So for Model, it's Penn, Betts, Pointer, Diamond, and Womack. Shot on the way, and that one rattles off the front of the rim. Battle for a rebound, quick jump ball. And the ball's going to stay on this end of the floor as the arrow is pointing in Haralson County's direction. So we get ready for Coy to inbound the basketball here for the Lady Rebels. They survey the floor. Going to fire it up top. Now to the right wing side they go to Coy. Coy going to work it inside, puts it up off the side of the rim. Rebound picked up by Betts. Betts going to bring it up the floor for Model. and she is going to get fouled by Hope Davis of Haralson County. And so we'll get ready for Georgia Womack to inbound the ball here for the Model Lady Devils with 2:21 left to go in the first half of play. So a couple of minutes away from our halftime show. Betts with the ball, sends it to the near side, gets it to Womack. Model working from right to left. Diamond takes the pass between the circles, now to the right wing side. They were trying to get it to Betts. The ball was deflected, ended up in the hands of Penn. Now Betts with it, sends it up top, gets it to Womack, fakes it to left side. Sends it over to left wing side. There's Diamond, fires the three. That one's off the rim. Rebound is going to be picked up there by Haralson County. They'll bring it back the other way in the hands of Annalane Coy. Coy across the midcourt stripe, dribbles at the top of the key, directing traffic with 1:45 left to go here in the second quarter. Sends it to the near side, gets it over to Johnson. Johnson in the right wing side to Brandon. Brandon trying to send it up top. Ball was deflected by Betts. Coming out with it was Pointer. Now back to Betts. Going to drive, kicks it out. Here is Womack now to the left wing side. They go to Penn, pass from Betts to Penn, and the ball is stripped away. Coy came out with it. Coy across the midcourt stripe here for Haralson County with 1:20 left to go in the first half. Going to send it right wing side. Now baseline, they go to Brandon. Brandon with the basketball, wants to fire it up top, gets behind the intended receiver of the pass. That was Johnson. She's able to track it down and keep it into the forecourt, and that's going to be a turnover coming back to the Model Lady Devils. And so Pointer set to inbound the basketball with 1:05 left to go here in the half. Model leading it by 15, 25-10 is your score. Betts is going to walk it up the floor here for the Lady Devils. Now speeds up a little bit as she crosses over the midcourt stripe. Looks off to the left side, is going to find Georgia Womack. Womack now dribbles back towards between the circles. Now to the near side, going to send it out around the perimeter to Pointer. She's going to break towards the basket, sends it left wing side to Diamond, up top to Betts. Betts now going to fire it to the right wing side on a bounce pass to Womack. Fires the three, misses. And coming out with the ball is going to be Haralson County with 35 seconds left to work with on the clock here in the second quarter. Trailing at 25-10. Here's the three ball on the way, and that one is through for number 22, Lee Johnson. Picks up her first bucket of the game, and that cuts it to a 25-13 game with 20 seconds and the shot clock off. So if Model wants to, they can try to get the last look here of the half. Right now, Womack with the basketball, wants to send it underneath, trying to get it to Penn. It ricocheted off the rim. And we're going to see free throws coming up here for Model as there was a foul. So we're going to see Pointer going to the free throw line. This will be her third trip to the line here of this basketball game. And so far it's been tough from the stripe. She's 0 of 4. Here's her first attempt of the pair, and that one's right through. 100% dialed in on that one as Gentry checks into the game before the next free throw with 9.2 seconds left to go on the clock, by the way. One more coming up here for Pointer. That's her first point of the game. Makes it a 26-13 game. Second shot on the way is high off the back of the rim. Rebound's going to be picked up by Haralson County, and a whistle, and I think they charged a foul there against Model. They did. That's going to be against Pointer, and that is going to send a Haralson County Lady Rebel to the free throw line, and it's going to be Hope Davis, who's been there at the stripe one other time here in this quarter, and she's 1 of 2 from the stripe. So 2 shots coming up for Hope. 5.8 seconds left to go in the half. First shot on the way, and that one is through. So she's 2 of 3 from the charity stripe, and that moves the score to 26-14 with 5.8 seconds left to go in the half. Halftime show coming up directly after the final seconds here of our second quarter. Second shot on the way. That one's off the front of the rim. Tracking down the rebound was Hope Davis, who just missed the free throw. Sends it up top. There's Coy, and that was going to be short. Goes out of bounds, and that is in of the first half. Model's going to lead it heading into the locker room, 26-14 over the Haralson County Lady Rebels. And it is now halftime. We're glad you're with us tonight, whether you're watching on the live stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media or listening on the radio on WLAQ. We'll send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. We'll come back with a halftime show after these messages.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight. so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float on your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
Back on the Model High School campus inside Woodard Gymnasium. Home of the Blue Devils is where we're at tonight, and enjoying some model basketball for you on a Tuesday evening, and hope everybody's having a wonderful evening out there and finding ways to stay warm despite the cold weather that we've had over the last few days. I was really grateful that we dodged the bullet there in terms of the ice and potential difficulties that could have come along with that, but I know that there's some other areas not too far from us that were not that fortunate during that time. So we're certainly thinking about those folks as they thaw out and try to get their lives back to normal in terms of power outages and trees down and all the different things that come along with that situation. Again, just very thankful and grateful that we didn't have to deal with a lot of that in our neck of the woods, just cold, uncomfortable temperatures. But anyway, it's halftime, and right now the Model Lady Devils lead it at halftime, 26-14 over Haralson County. We'll tell you how we got there. The Model Lady Devils would outscore Haralson County 10-2 at the end of the first quarter, and then it tightened up there in the second quarter. Credit where credit's due. Haralson County found a way against a really stout defense there from Model to get some points on the board there in the second quarter of the game. Model did outscore Haralson County in that second frame, but only by a score of 16-12. So most of the damage as far as the first half is concerned and the way the scoreboard looks right now was really done there in that first quarter of the basketball game. As far as individual efforts were concerned, we'll start with the trailing Haralson County Lady Rebels. They would only have one field goal there in the first quarter, but then got a few more there in the second quarter of the ball game. They would pick up 2 points from the free throw line from Cammie Austin, 2 points from Annalane Coy, 3 points from Lee Johnson, 4 points there from Riley Williams, with 2 points was Hope Davis and 1 point from Brenna Brandon from the charity stripe there. That was in the second quarter. Meanwhile, for the Lady Devils playing at home, they'd have 3 players with 7 points. More on that in just a moment. Eva Pointer would pick up 1 point from the free throw line, 2 points apiece for Jada Wells and Alana Penn. And then the 3 leading scorers of the game, and for the Model Lady Devils, would be Cam Sanders, Addie Mathis, and Samantha Betts, all who were able to pick up 7 points there between the first and second quarters of the basketball game. So some good offensive production there for the Lady Devils, a team that comes into the game averaging about 47 points a game, a little bit over their average there through the first couple of quarters of this basketball game against Haralson County. So again, Model leads it 26-14. We've got about 3 minutes and 48 seconds until we start our third quarter in just a few minutes. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take another break. Again, we're super glad to have you with us here tonight on live coverage of Model basketball. Of course, produced by Northwest Georgia Media. Audio from WLAQ Radio, and we'll send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. We'll get you started with the second half after these messages. 3 minutes.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
Welcome you back inside the gymnasium here on the campus of Model High School. We're in Woodard Gymnasium tonight. Model Lady Devils lead at 26-14 as we get you ready here for the start of the third quarter. Model's going to open up with possession of the basketball to start our third frame. And again, we welcome you into live coverage once again here from Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ of Model basketball. Sasha Wood takes the inbound pass. And this is not the last time that you'll hear from us coming up this week. We're going to be back out here on Thursday as both teams hosts Almerchi, so that should be a tremendous amount of fun. I think Almerchi teams are playing against Christian Heritage tonight. I'm not sure of the scores of those games. Obviously, that'll be a non-region game for these two programs. But that won't be the case coming up next year, the way things sit right now, with reclassification coming up for the next couple of years. But glad those games are on the schedule. That should be a great atmosphere and environment coming up on Thursday night. Got a good one here tonight. Pretty big crowd on hand. Lots of folks in blue. Right now, Haralson County trying to work around some pressure here. Across the timeline they go. Work it down towards, well, now the ball sails into the backcourt and goes out of bounds. It was last touched by Haralson County, so it's coming back to the Lady Devils. So kind of a wild start here to the first 40 seconds of our third quarter of the basketball game. As Sasha Wood gets ready to inbound the basketball in front of the model bench, is going to find Samantha Betts. Now back over to Wood, underneath to Pointer. She is right now on the baseline. Sends it back outside to Wood. Now back up top, gets it to Cam Sanders. Sends it to the near side to Betts. Back up to Sanders. Now a wide open Wood. Fires the three and in. Sasha Wood knocks down the first bucket here of the third quarter, and it's the tray. 29-14, Model leads it. And they have wire to wire to this point. Across the timeline goes Coy, dribbles right around midcourt. Going to try to get it to a teammate. Ball ricochets out of bounds, and this is coming back to Model. So Model's defense still giving some trouble here for Haralson County trying to handle the ball. And now Model will inbound the ball in front of the scorer's table over near the Haralson County bench. Across the timeline goes Betts. Now sends it over to the near side, gets it to Sanders. She surveys the floor, is going to find Wood. Now the left wing side there to Betts. Bounce pass over to Pointer. Pointer is now going to be trapped. They send it up top. Here's Sanders now to the near side. There's Wood for three, and that one caroms off the rim. Rebounds picked up by Jada Wells, who dribbles in front of the model bench with the basketball. Up top to Betts. Betts to the near side, gets it to Sasha Wood. Wood up top. Between the circles is Sanders. Now on to Betts on the left wing side to a cutting Jada Wells. Wells up top to Sanders. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Got to be aware of that. Here is Wood. Pulls the trigger on the three. That one goes high off the backboard and out of bounds. So it's coming back to Haralson County with 6:01 left to go in the third quarter. A Model leading it 29-14. Right now, Coy tying her shoe there for Haralson County. Talking about this in the pregame, but if you missed that, this Haralson County team started the season 1-12. So out of their first 13 games, only came up with one win. That ball stolen away, and Pointer scores right after the steal. My goodness. Great defense and offense there by Pointer. Haralson County trying to work around some pressure. The ball's poked out of bounds, and it was last touched by Model. So Haralson County gets ready to inbound the ball in between the Model bench and the scorer's table. But to complete the thought from earlier on, Haralson County, really tough start to the season, but in the last 6 games, they've gone 500 and gone 3-3. So this team has gotten better throughout the course of the season. Ball stolen away. Here's Betts. Of course, they got their hands full with a really, really good Model team here tonight and in a tough environment to play. Here is Wells on the left wing side. Now back around the perimeter to Sanders between the circles. Now goes to work on the right side, leaves it off for Betts. Betts now back over to Sanders. A zone defense here from Haralson County. They try to penetrate the zone with a pass, getting it to Pointer. Here is Betts off the side of the rim. Rebound's going to be picked up by Haralson County. Johnson comes out with it. And now Coy's going to bring it up the floor, but she's going to meet some Lady Devils right at midcourt. Is able to pass around it, though. And they get it down low to Davis. Davis is stripped. Coming out with it is Sasha Wood. Great defense by Model. Inside bounce pass. Here's Pointer after the feed from Wood. Misses the shot. Rebound's going to be picked up by Davis, and Haralson County will come back the other way. Little contact there from Pointer, so the official blows the whistle. Subs into the game here for Haralson County. Checking in, you've got Abby Welch. And I think I also saw Charlie West checking back into the game. Pointer's going to check out here for Model with 3 fouls. So Pointer now with 3 fouls will take a seat. Across the timeline goes Coy with it. She dribbles between the circles, being guarded right now by Betts. From the elbow, With the basketball now off the bench is West, going to send it to the near side. Dribbling with it is now Johnson. Tries to get it over to her teammate, Alyssa Hyatt. Pass got away from her, rolled out of bounds on the Haralson County bench. So Model's going to get the ball back. We're almost halfway through our third quarter of play. Nightcap for you tonight. Well, it's going to be the same schools, but the boys teams, Model Blue Devils and Haralson County Rebels, coming up in just a little bit. And just to kind of preview that, we've got a timeout on the floor. We're going to keep it here through this timeout. The Model boys come into the game 15-2 and 7-1 in region play. And coming into this game, Haralson County boys are 12-8, 2-5 in region play. Haralson County comes in riding a 2-game win streak, so trying to keep some momentum going here against the Model Blue Devils. And the same thing for Model. They've won their last 2 games. And we'll tell you more about that matchup when we get into our pregame for that game. But we still got a lot left to go of the girls' game. Model leads it right now 31-14 with 4:17 left to go in the third quarter. And we get ready for Sasha Wood to inbound the ball for the Lady Devils out of the timeout. Samantha Betts with it across the midcourt stripe. Now they're going to send it to the right wing side as they try to penetrate this zone here from Haralson County. They send it to the left wing, a bounce pass inside, trying to get it to Sanders on the baseline. She is going to be trapped over near the baseline, and that's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrows pointing in Haralson County's direction. So the Lady Rebels have effectively forced a turnover. They will inbound the ball. Johnson, now they'll try to pass around some pressure here. And they get it down to Hyatt. Across the timeline she goes. Now back up top. Take the shot when you can get it. That one I think was partially blocked by the Lady Devils. Nonetheless, did not catch iron. Coming out with the ball is going to be Sanders. Lost the handle. Kind of got a little out of control on the other side. Coming out with the ball is Coy. She tries to work her way around Sanders. Fires it right wing side. Now underneath. Good sequence. Couldn't get the finish though. And the ball is going to be poked out of bounds there by Haralson County. It's coming back to the Lady Devils with 3:29 left to go in the third quarter and a 31-14 lead for the Lady Devils. Inbound pass goes to Samantha Betts, who's going to bring it up the floor here for the Lady Devils. She now dribbles across the midcourt stripe. Now works her way right. Sasha Wood will take the pass on the right wing. Now back up top between the circles to Addie Mathis. Now sends it left wing side to Betts, to a cutting Sanders, who drives towards the lane and kisses it off the glass and through with a strong move. And that makes it a 33-14 game in favor of Model. And it looks like we're going to have another timeout. So we will take this one. 3:08 left to go in the third quarter. Again, Model leads at 33-14 over Haralson County. We're back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're going to take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Welcome back to Model Hoops here on WLAQ and also the live stream. Kind of get off topic here, but I saw some sports news just as we were going on the air tonight that absolutely baffled me. And not that I'm any kind of expert on Hall of Fames for any sport and what it takes to get in, but it was shocking to me when I saw that his first chance on the ballot, Bill Belichick, was 6 Super Bowl rings as a head coach and 2 as defensive coordinator, was not a first ballot Hall of Famer as a coach. I need to do some research on what it takes to get into the NFL Hall of Fame. That just absolutely boggles my mind. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, rather. Pretty interesting stuff. Now back to basketball. Just had to express that. Model leads at 33-14, 2:38 left to go in the third quarter of this basketball game. Betts going to bring it up the floor here for the Lady Devils. She's across the timeline with it, sends it to the near side, gets it to Sasha Wood. She surveys the floor. Haralson County still in their zone defense. Betts with it on the left wing side in front of the Model bench. Now back up top to Sasha Wood. Fires it to the right wing corner over to Addie Mathis. Mathis gets it inside trying to get it to a cutting Wells. The passing lane shut down, and the ball is stolen away by Haralson County. So good, effective defense out of their zone on that possession there for Model. Haralson County with the basketball. They're going to work it up top. They go into a little bit of a weave on their offense. Now back up to the top of the key. Coy's got it. Send it left wing side. Now back up top. So they try to get a little movement there on offense to try to find some open looks, which has been tough to do much of the game against this Model basketball team, as it often is. So we'll get ready for Lee Johnson to inbound the basketball here in just a couple of moments. Johnson surveys the floor. Is going to fire it into the backcourt, gets it over to Coy, who's across the timeline being guarded by Wood. Coy dribbling with the basketball and works the way off towards the right wing side. Now back up top. Is going to shoot from the free throw line just before the buzzer. Misses the shot. Collecting the rebound was Alana Penn, and now Model brings it back the other way. Wood to the right wing side, gets it to Georgia Womack. Underneath, trying to lob it. A little too strong to Jada Wells. The ball goes out of bounds. It was deflected, though, by Haralson County, so it stays with Model on their end of the floor with 1:28 left to go. We'll get ready for Georgia Womack to inbound the basketball from the baseline. Surveys the floor, sends it right wing side to Wells. Up top, they go to Mathis. Mathis will send their half-court offense into motion. Womack underneath tries to lob it back to Wells, and a whistle and a foul is going to be called against Haralson County. And let's see. He flashed a 0 there against Austin. So we'll get ready for Georgia to inbound the basketball here for the Model Lady Devils. Going to lob it out to Wells, kind of goes off her head. Now sends it on to Sasha Wood. Wood backs up between the circles, gives it off to Womack on the left wing side. She surveys the floor. He's going to send it to Wells, who cuts towards the baseline. Now back around to Womack. Surveying the floor once again. Sends it over to Addie Mathis. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Womack fakes, goes in, sends it underneath to Penn off the glass. What a feed, what a shot, what a sequence. And the points for Model, 35-14, 51 seconds left to go in the third quarter of the ball game. Between the circles is Coy. Gonna send it to her teammate. Now they've got it at the top of the key to a cutting player. They get it to low block, feed it back out around the perimeter. Dribbling with the ball is Johnson. She'll back up between the circles. 14 seconds on the shot clock for Haralson County. Coy sends the signals to her teammate. Now works towards the left side. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Here's the three ball in the air. Misses the rim, so now only 2 seconds on the shot clock, and that is a shot clock violation coming back to the Model Lady Devils. So great possession there on defense there for Model as they force the shot clock violation, and Model will inbound the ball with 18.6 seconds left to go in the third quarter, leading at 35-14, and the shot clock obviously is off. Georgia Womack going to send it down to the low block, gets it over to Penn, back out to Georgia Womack up top. 7 seconds on the clock for Wood. Back up top to Georgia. He's going to fire the three, a contested shot, misses, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter. Model's going to lead it going into the final 8 minutes of the contest by a score of 35-14 over Haralson County. Let's send it back to the studio for a 1 minute timeout. We'll be back for the final frame after these messages.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Instant Replay is brought to you by Smith & Wood Wealth Management. We also thank Mathis Trailer and Equipment, Shannon Pharmacy, WC Timber, Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialists, Advent Health Redmond, The Herb Shop on Broad, Dogwood Books, and Duffy's Deli. Please support the businesses that support us.
Model would hold Haralson County scoreless there in the third quarter, would outscore them 9-0. 0 points for Haralson County in that quarter. In the first quarter, they would only score 2. So the defense from Model has been outstanding for the most part during the course of this game. Cam Sanders underneath to Pointer, who is cutting towards the basket. The pass is going to be picked off. Coy is across the timeline with the basketball here for Haralson County. Model leads at 35-14. Out of the break, we're down to the final quarter of the basketball game. They get it down low. Here's a long three-point shot as they kicked out, missed the 3. Rebound's going to be picked up by Pointer. And here's Wood underneath, driving in, and that is going to be knocked out of bounds by Coy. We get ready for Model to inbound the basketball here in just a couple of moments. Here leading at 35-14. Sanders sends it into the right wing side to Wood. Backing her way in is Sanders, puts it up, and that one's off the side of the rim. Rebound's going to be picked up by Alyssa Hyatt. She'll leave it off for Coy. He's going to bring it up the floor here for Haralson County. Sanders is still on her. She crosses over center court, actually with a pass there to Johnson. She is in front of the Haralson County bench. Now back to Coy, who dribbles between the circles on the M here at Model High School. Coy trying to send it to a teammate. Pass went through her hands, picked up by Betts, and that's a turnover. Model's got the ball back. They will come back the other way. Wood across the timeline, sends it left wing side. Sanders underneath to Pointer, puts up the shot, misses, but she earns a trip to the stripe. So we're going to see Pointer at the free throw line here, where she has been 3 times in the ball game up until this point. This is her 4th trip to the charity stripe. So we've got attempts 7 and 8 coming up here for Pointer. First free throw is on the way, and that one's going to be left a little bit short. It kind of clanks off the front of the rim. We'll get ready for her second free throw. 6:35 left to go in the ball game. Model leads it by 21 points, 35-14. Second shot on the way. Pointer knocks down the second of the pair. And Haralson County is going to bring it up the floor, trailing it 36-14. 22-point deficit to try to overcome in 6.5 minutes. That's going to be a tough hill to climb, no question about that. Davis with the basketball between the circles, almost lost it, retains possession here for Haralson County. We're going to have a whistle and a foul. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout. We're going to take this timeout as well. 6:17 left to go. Model leads at 36-14. We're back with more after a 30-second break.
WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. All
right, we welcome you back to live coverage of Model basketball tonight, where Model leads at 36-14 over the visiting Haralson County Lady Rebels. And Model in the first quarter would outscore Haralson County 10-2. The second quarter much tighter, 16-12 in that one. But then Model would outscore Haralson County 9-0, shut them down defensively there in the third quarter to lead it here by a score of 36-14. It was 35-14, I should say, after the third quarter. Only point of the first couple of minutes here of our final period was a free throw made by Eva Pointer just a little bit ago. But Haralson County set to inbound from their baseline in just a moment. They're going to send it left wing side to Davis. Now back up top, they get it into the hands of Lee Johnson. Johnson dribbles between the circles, now works her way towards the right, stripped away. Eva Pointer came out with it, gets it down to Wells. Defense gets back quick. Wells off the glass, misses the shot, and we're going to have another jump ball. Possession arrow is pointing in Haralson County's direction. Haven't done this a while, but I'll let you know who all's on the floor for each team. For Model Lady Devils, Cam Sanders, Jada Wells, Eva Pointer, Sasha Wood, and Samantha Betts. And then for Haralson County, bringing it up the floor is going to be Anna Lane Coy. Also on the floor for them, you've got Alyssa Hyatt, Hope Davis. We'll give you the other two in just a couple of moments. We've got some action right now. Coy gets it to the rim, rolls off. Rebound's going to be picked up by Pointer. The other two players out there for Haralson County, Abby Welch is one of them. I'll catch the other one in a second. Here's Wells to the near side, gets it over to Betts. Up top to Sasha Wood. The other player is Riley Williams. for Haralson County. Took me about a minute to get that out, but well, we got it to you. Sasha Wood to the right wing side over to Cam Sanders. Now back around to Wood. On to Samantha Betts. Now dribbles towards the low block. Euro steps, goes in, strong move, and scores. What a highlight reel move there by Samantha Betts. I'm sure we'll see that one again later, but Model leads at 38-14 here with 5 minutes to go. We're officially under the 5-minute mark of this one. Boys basketball coming up in just a little bit for you. Looking forward to bringing you that. Haralson County with the basketball trailing here in this one by a good margin here with this amount of time left to go in the game, and they turn it over, so a traveling called, and this is coming back to the Model Lady Devils. Gonna have girls varsity and boys varsity coming up for you on Thursday, non-region games against Almerchi at 6 and 7:30. And I'd say wear your blue no matter which team you're rooting for. I guess you're coming in blue, huh? There'll be lots of blue in the gym on that night. It should be a special atmosphere to see those two teams, those two schools lock horns. Looking forward to it. Here's Samantha Betts. Shot is on the way. That's going to be high off the rim. Rebound picked up by Pointer. Second look there is going to be by Cam Sanders, and she knocks it down. She's now got 11 points in the game, and Model leads at 40-14. Across the timeline goes Coy here for Haralson County. Coy going to try to go to work here on Betts. Sends it to the free throw line, gets it over to Welch, who now sends it right wing side, gets it to Davis. Davis in front of the Haralson County bench, now on to Brandon. And now to a cutting Davis underneath, off the glass and through. And definitely want to give credit there for the pass from Alyssa Hyatt. Nice feed there, and the assist as Davis gets the points. 40-16, Haralson County trails your Model Lady Devils. Betts with on the right wing side. Here's Betts, going to send it across, gets it over to Wood, drives towards the baseline, and gets bumped underneath. We're going to see her going to the free throw line. So Sasha Wood is going to the free throw line for the first time of the ball game after being bumped there by Hope Davis. So 2 free throws coming up here for Sasha Wood with 3:37 left to go in the ball game. First shot's in the air, and that one's off the back of the rim. Wood will get ready for her next free throw. As checking into the game here for Model for Betts is going to be Mathis, and you've had 3 subs come into the game. Austin, also number 25, Kate Pixels, I think that's how you say that. And then number 20, Charlie West, checking back in here for Haralson County. Second shot is on the way, and that one's through there for Sasha Wood. So she's 1 of 2 from the stripe tonight. The Model leads at 41-16 with 3:34 left to go here in the final quarter of the ball game. Coy with the basketball between the circles, tries to send it right wing side. I got to tell you what, Eva Pointer is absolutely everywhere on defense. Coming up with steals, deflecting passes, getting rebounds. Missed the first part of the season with an illness, and I know they're glad to have her back. Have been for the last few weeks. Here's Mathis for 3. That one's off the side of the rim. Rebound picked up by Wells. Going to fire it up top. Gets it to Mathis. Now to the left wing corner from a pass from Sanders. Driving baseline was Wood, and knocks down another one. Model leads it 43-16 with under 3 minutes to go in this one. Coy across the timeline. We're about to have a few subs into the game here for Model momentarily. High screen set, and they will work around it, trying to get to the right wing side. Ball is stolen away. Here's Sasha Wood across the timeline for Model. Fires it right wing side to Mathis. Now back up top to Sasha Wood, around to Cam Sanders. She starts to dribble. Now they're going to work her way towards the low block. Feeds it left wing side, gets it a Pointer. Now kicks it out. They work it around the right wing side to Mathis. Leaves it off for Wells at the baseline. Kicks it out. There's Wood, and knocks down the 3 ball. So Wood with the tray, and the score moves to 46-16, a 30-point lead here for Model with 2:10 left to go in this one. So it's more or less been decided a long time ago. Oh, big time block there by Eva Pointer. Here comes Wood and tries to drop it in off the glass, misses the shot. Put back won't go, but the third look on that sequence there by Cam Sanders, that one goes through. And now the score moves to 48-16, and a timeout on the floor is called. We're going to take it as well. 1:52 left to go. Model up. 48-16 over Haralson County. We're back in 30 seconds.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
Haralson County with the ball trailing 48-16 out of the timeout. 1:40 left to go here in this ball game. And ball nearly stolen away. It stays on Haralson County's end. They want to drive baseline. Little runner on the way is missed, and coming out with it is Diamond. Model has outscored Haralson County in this final frame 13-2 to really take charge of this game. They led it 35-14 going into the final 8 minutes of the ball game, and their lead is out to a 48-16 lead. Ball ricochets off a few players. Penn comes out with it for Model, sends it out to Gentry. Ball nearly poked free, but Georgia Womack is able to hang on to it and retain possession here for the Lady Devils. 5 seconds on the shot clock. It is actually stolen away. Penn's got it. Now back to the Lady Devils. Here's Womack underneath. Ball is stripped and it goes out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Model on their end of the floor with 55.9 seconds left to go in the contest. So Georgia Womack set to feed it in here for the Lady Devils. Sends it right wing side. Now up top. Also into the game for the Lady Devils. Well, there's a long three ball that's going to be missed. We'll make sure we get all the names in here. Chloe Staten-Lackey is into the game for the first time tonight. So for Model, you've got Diamond, Staten-Lackey, as we mentioned, Emily Gentry, Alana Penn, and Georgia Womack. So we've got all subs into the game here late in this one. For Haralson County, they get ready for Brannon to inbound the ball. She will get it into her teammate, who's number 11, Abby Welch. Now back to Brandon on the left wing side. Little runner for her. Too strong. Tracking down the rebound is going to be Penn. Tries to fire it across. Gets it over to Womack. Almost picked off, but Womack's able to get the ball, and the shot clock is off. Last 30 seconds of the ball game underway. Emily Gentry with it. Now up top is Kia Diamond. Now around to left wing side to Staten-Lackey. Now into left wing. They get it to Georgia Womack. She'll hold the ball in front of the Model bench. Now starts to dribble with 14 seconds left to go. Zakia Diamond now on to Penn. Now out to Georgia Womack. Looks like Model will just hold the ball the remaining seconds of the ball game. 5 seconds left to go as Georgia Womack dribbles. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the ball game. Model, your victors tonight. Lead it wire to wire and win it 48-16 over Haralson County and pick up another region win. Model improves their season record to 13-7 overall, 7-2 in Region 6 out of Class A Division I. Meanwhile, Haralson County, they fall to 4-16 rather on the season, 1-7 in Region 6 Class A Division I play. Well, we're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll run down the scoring from the first game, and then we'll start to set the stage for the boys game in just a little bit after that. But let's send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. Your post-game show is coming up here on Model Basketball with Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight, so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float in your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
Welcome you back to live coverage of model basketball produced by Northwest Georgia Media on the video side and audio tonight from WLAQ Radio here in Rome, Georgia. And the Model Lady Devils just picked up a whopping 48-16 victory over Haralson County Lady Rebels to get back into the win column. And so again, they moved their season record to 13-7 on the season. Meanwhile, 7-2 in Region 6A Division I play. Haralson County falls to 4-16, 1-7 in Region 6 Class A Division I play. Now here's how it would break down quarter to quarter. Model would lead it 10-2 at the end of the first quarter. It was a closer second quarter of the ball game as Model would score 16 points to Haralson County's 12 points. Model would be up at halftime 26-14 though. Then in the third quarter of the basketball game, Model would outscore Haralson County 9-0, so shut them out there in the third quarter to lead it 35-14 going into the final frame. And then in the final frame, well, they picked up where they left off, did the Model Lady Devils from the third quarter. They would absolutely pick up the pace there and win it 13-2, or outscore Haralson County 13-2 there in that final quarter of the basketball game to ultimately win it 48-16. Now, as far as individual scoring is concerned, we'll start with Haralson County. They picked up 2 points apiece from Cammie Austin and Annalane Coy. 3 points for Lee Johnson, 4 points for Riley Williams, and along with Hope Davis, who had 4 points. Those were the two leading scorers tonight for the Haralson County Lady Rebels, and 1 point there for Brenna Brannon. Meanwhile, for the victorious Model Lady Devils, they'd have one player that got into double digits, a couple that got real close. And we'll start with Eva Pointer, who had 4 points in the game. Also 2 points for Jada Wells, 4 for Alana Penn. Then the leading scorers for Model tonight, Addie Mathis would have 7 points. And then with 9 apiece, you'd have Sasha Wood and Samantha Betts. And then the leading scorer tonight for the Model Lady Devils and overall in the game was Cam Sanders, who had notched 13 points for the Lady Devils tonight. And it was a great effort by the Lady Devils on both sides of the floor, again outscoring Haralson County by a final score of 48-16. Model had the third quarter where they did not give up any points at all, 0. And in the first and second quarters, they only gave up 2 points in those quarters. So I think Coach Eccles is going to be really pleased with the effort that she got from her Lady Devils tonight. Setting the tone there with their defense, really causing some problems for Haralson County tonight, scoring in 3 out of the 4 quarters of the ball game, and then not to mention, finding opportunities on the offensive side of the floor and getting some points here tonight. So again, congratulations to the Model Lady Devils and Coach Eccles on the victory here in our first game. We're going to take a 5-minute break so we can get things set here for the boys game, which is fast approaching. We're a little under 9 minutes away from tip-off of the boys game, so we'll come back with a short pregame for it after this 5-minute break and get you ready for the Model Blue Devils and the Haralson County Rebels coming up in just a few minutes. We're back in 5 minutes.